Piss off, Jason. Welcome back to wook+LIVE. I am the Great Wen, joined by T and Mr. Peter Negroponte, best known for his work with the experimental art rock band Guerilla Toss.
Woo!
He is a genre-defying drummer with a vital force behind the unpredictable and kinetic sound, fusing elements of punk, funk, noise, and electronic. Happy National Drummer Month.
Yeah, that's great. That was a nice introduction. Thank you so much. So happy to be here with you guys. Let's do it. Let's rock.
Yeah, I love this. I've spoken to you quite a few times. We actually dragged 3/4 of the wook+ crew out to see you in Colorado before the Commerce City shows a few years back, and I just fell in love with what you did. Now, I'll give my backstory, and then we'll jump into what you got going on. I saw a picture of Trey with your shirt a few years back, and Trey had the shirt on, and that's why I was like, well, if Trey likes this, I'm going to check this band out, and I fell in love with what you do. It checks all the boxes for me, but you got a new single. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the new single?
The new single is, it's called Psychosis Is Just a Number, and let's see, it dropped about 2 weeks ago. I'm pretty psyched on it. It's kind of like a throwback to some of our earlier, more like aggressive kind of punk, kind of dancey material that people are into. So I thought we'd sort of like give it a shot to write a banger like that. I think we succeeded. I'm pretty psyched on that one. I can't reveal too much information because there's more big news coming, but yeah, that's a good one. And Stephen Malcolmus of the band Pavement and the Jicks and of Hard Quartet is one of his new projects. That's fantastic. He produced the single, and it was awesome to work with him. He's the coolest. So, what'd you think of it? Huh?
I absolutely love it. It gave me a little bit of like maybe some B-52 kind of vibes with it, with the way the keyboard sounded.
Totally.
How much did Steven influence or direct you in what he was doing? I guess walking in a room with him, you got to kind of be in awe. You're like, wow, I'm standing here with.
Well, he's really just like the coolest dude, and like I think, and we were lucky enough to open for Pavement in like 2022. We did 5 shows with them. And so, initially meeting him, we were all a little bit nervous, but yeah, I mean, he's the nicest dude. He's so like unpretentious, and he's a guy that happens to be a really genius songwriter, but he's just a chiller, man. He's the nicest guy. So working with him was awesome. And he was in there in the room with us, and we were kind of firing off ideas and bouncing stuff back and forth. And he was definitely a vibes guy. And he was awesome. And we kind of like, it was a hang. It's a whole, like I said, there's more information to be revealed that I won't say quite yet, but there was a whole hang with him. It was awesome. We went bowling, we went skiing with him. It was a whole like thing. It was amazing.
Nice.
It's been 14 months or so since we last talked, and I've been sitting on your big news since then because you told me after the show when we were off camera. I'm like, oh man,
it's been a slow burn, but the music industry works in mysterious ways, but we got something, we got cool news coming, and the project took a while to really solidify and get everybody in the room together, and then anyway, that's enough that I'll share right now. But yeah, working with Steve was awesome. Love that guy, the coolest. Thanks for listening, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
And you're still on Sub Pop.
Yeah.
So, and do you guys do Bandcamp still too, or?
Yeah, totally. We have a Bandcamp, and we actually, this is kind of a long, not super interesting story, but we were with DFA. I'll keep it short. We were with DFA Records for many years, which is like the LCD Sound System. James Murphy, that's his whole project, and that was really cool. But we recently got back our music. We got back the masters and the rights to our music from the label. So all the stuff on Bandcamp we own it right now. And that's a really good place to buy stuff because we get that dough. It just goes straight to us. So thanks for mentioning Bandcamp. Yeah. We got a bunch of stuff on there, and it's looking good right now. Yeah.
I was a little worried about Bandcamp when the private equity company bought them out, but it
Yeah.
seems like they've kind of held the line with what they were doing.
Yeah, I remember reading about that and people being like, "Oh, here we go." And so far, I don't follow this stuff super closely, but I haven't noticed anything dramatically different. I don't know. The fees are still the same, and they still do the Bandcamp Friday thing. So I don't know. They haven't totally fucked it up yet.
Right. And it's the best. It's probably one of the best things out there for bands, because it is the direct thing.
It's kind of the one. Yeah, it's kind of the one.
It is. Yeah, I always push that one, definitely.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll probably, your group will probably come up again, but let's talk about The Hill. There've been a rash of drummers. Foo Fighters fired their drummer. Chris Myers quit Humphreys McGee, and The Who fired Zach Starkey, rehired him, fired him again, and, which is absurd to me. But anyway, the Daily Mail, which is, I guess, everybody in England's favorite rag, reported that Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend were fighting because Pete Townsend apparently said on UK Sunday People, The Who has gone on a bit too long with two of us dying. It does sometimes feel like flogging a dead horse. And then they said that a comment Daltrey made a year ago about, if Pete doesn't want to tour, I don't want to be on the road with him, trying to get some beef. It is beef month. Together with them. But let me ask you what you think. I saw The Hill on their 89 final tour, their 96 final tour. I think in 2002 they did a final tour.
I saw that. Yeah, Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
But what do you think about a band like that? Should they be going out on the road?
You asking me here what I think of The Who?
Yeah. I'm asking you. Well, just the absurdity of their final tours over and over again. And
we know Kev's answer. Kev's not a big Who fan.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm a Roger Daltrey fan.
Yes.
I'm The Who was one of those bands that I got into when I started playing music, and it was pretty influential. And then I don't know, like some of that stuff feels kind of corny looking back, but more recently I kind of got back into it. And they had so many eras, and I mean, dude, like what is it? Live at Leeds is like, that's one of the best live records of all time. I mean, that's just killer. And Tommy, yeah, it's totally like, and it sounds huge. And there was just, there's four of them, but there's really three of them playing instruments, and it's like, it sounds massive. And I'm a big Tommy fan, but and I like it all, and Quadrophenia and all that stuff, and I'm pretty well versed. What do I think of them touring? Still, I mean, I saw them 2 years ago, actually, on their summer tour, and I don't know, it was pretty good. I never know what to think, because it's like, it's obviously not The Who. It's two of the guys, and it's like a bunch of hired guns, and they sound great. I was actually there was a few sloppy moments, which I really dug. I thought it was kind of funny. I like when bands fuck up in front of everybody. Like, they really fucked up the end. I can swear on here, right? This is a podcast.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. They really fucked up the end of Baba O'Reilly, that part where it speeds up. You know what I'm talking about? Dun, 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 dun. They fucked that up, and it was funny because that part's so good too. It's like so I got a chuckle out of that. And then they screwed up Eminence Front, which I love that song.
Yeah,
that's like the '80s, non Keith Moon Who. So
I
that
love
was
the
funny.
80s too. I absolutely love Don't Let Go the Coat, Another Tricky Day. Those songs are so great.
Well, it's always so, it's weird when a band it's like they kind of like overstayed their welcome or whatever, even though they kept going and playing. Because did they make any new records like since in the last 20 years? I think they did.
I think they made one. I think they've had one record since It's Hard. The one with Eminence Front and Athena on it from 82 or whatever.
Yeah, with that album cover of them like standing. That's like ridiculous.
Yeah, the arcade. Yeah.
The arcade. Yeah. Have you listened to the one from the last 20 years?
No.
No, me neither. I don't know.
I did buy a greatest hits CD at one time that had two new songs on the end, but I think one of them was a cover.
Huh. Yeah, that sounds like that doesn't sound like a greatest hits CD. It sounds like they got you there. But
right, yes, a couple good songs. Then we'll throw this one. I've been joking that if I went and see him, I would want to see all the '80s stuff. Bring it all back. You better, you better, you bet. That's a great song.
I like that one. That one's good. Yeah, I really like Eminem's front. I love the synth. The lyrics are badass. The guitar is cool.
Yeah.
It's a great solo. But so the funny thing, like when I think of all this drama, you know, like because I've been following like you know whatever the headlines are a little bit, and it's kind of ridiculous. It's always weird to me that like a band that's this popular and this legendary and famous, and it's just like you know, it's like it's a business, you know, like touring at that level and stuff. It's funny to me that there's still so much drama at the fucking top. That's what always gets me with these. And then some. And what's funny about this, because I've been thinking about this, because you know, I knew we were going to be talking about it. But what's funny is like sometimes when sometimes I feel like it's kind of a publicity stunt, you know. But so when they fired him and then rehired him, I was like, oh, they're kind of just like this is some funny shit to move tickets for their tour this summer, their last tour. But then they fired him again. So what the fuck? So I think it's awesome. I don't know what's going on, but it's you know it's great to see people at the top still sucking, you know, and fucking up everything up. It's like it's human, you know. So whatever.
I want Zach to go out with his dad this summer with Ringo's tour and play Won't Get Fooled Again.
That's a great idea. That's hilarious. Is Ringo touring? He's touring this summer or something?
Yeah, but he's doing the country stuff. He has a whole different band. It isn't Joe Walsh and that whole thing. I guess Joe Walsh is too busy doing the Eagles at the Sphere.
It's so funny. I mean, it's like the whole. I mean, what do you guys make of all this of these bands that just keep going? It's cool, like you know, 'cause they don't need the money, right? I mean, maybe they do, but I don't think. I think they love to play the music, and they're kind of just getting all their people paid. You know, is that what's happening? I don't know what to make of it.
I think there's two ways to look at it, and one is, you know, like if you really love playing music and that's your job, and you really want to keep playing music, then more power to you. Obviously, like keep going, right? Because what else are you gonna do but die? So you might as well do what you love, and that's what you've always loved to do. So I get it. Is it a money grab sometimes? Sure. But I mean, that's life, right? And if you love playing music and that's your gig, go play music. And the second thing is, I think, especially with like Dead & Co., where this really holds true in a really unique situation, is if you're able to bring in a whole new generation of fans into a community and into a musical genre and sphere that like they normally would not have ever gotten into and been like, oh, my parents like that band, but I never listened to the Dead, you know, or whatever. And to be able to like grow in that amount of time, short amount of time, to grow their own fan base basically and latch on to what was already there, it's pretty amazing to me. I mean, say what you want about the music and again, the cash grab and what they've been doing and doing the Sphere and now, you know, still. You read the shit about people that are like, man, my dad took me to a show and I totally got it. And now I'm a huge fan and go with like all my friends and like all these stories. And you're like, that is cool. Like to me, I think that's cool. And that's what music is all about. Right. And so like, if you're able to do that, it's cool. But the nostalgia act thing or just playing to like do another farewell tour or another, you know what I mean? Then that kind of wears on you and gets old and is like, all right, we're kind of done with this.
But I think there's also something to be said about what else are they going to do? Like Tony Mathis did his last show the other day, and they were basically shoveling him out on a dolly and standing him up at the front of the stage at the end. And I think some of these guys, like Bob Weir, what would he do if he didn't go out on stage?
That's what I mean. Music? Like if you just grow old and like I mean, it's like, you know, it's like I always equate it to like golfers, and when you retire from golf, you go on the senior tour of golfing. It's like the same thing. Like when you retire from like music, like there's no like senior tour of music, but you just keep playing. Like you just go on your own senior tour and like do that. So
like I don't think it's necessarily about the money because those guys are set, you know, for generations. So I really do think they're like, I just want to keep playing and maybe get their management and their crew paid. I think at that level, there's sort of you know an expectation to at least keep your people afloat. But well, the cool thing about Dead & Co. and like, I don't want to, like, I have mixed feelings, I guess. I don't know if I really care, but I've seen them a handful of times. It's been a while. But the best thing about Dead & Co., which is different than The Who and all this stuff, is that when you go see them, it's like more than half of the audience is young. They never even saw Jerry. It's like there really is like that's a whole other scene that like kind of transcends what we're talking about. Like
totally.
Exactly. And when you go to see a band like The Who, though, you want to hear Bob O'Reilly like on the record, like you were saying.
Yeah.
You know, you want to hear it that way. When you go see Dead and Company, you're expecting to hear things reinterpreted, and it's a living organism as opposed to a museum piece, is what I would like, and I guess a Who concert too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're doing the Dead thing, and you know, it's been a while since I've seen them, but I really do. I'm psyched when you're there, and it's like it's a bunch of young people. You know, no offense to the older crowd, but it's cool that it transcends all that shit. I really appreciate that about Dead and Co.
Yeah, totally. I agree completely. And it doesn't feel nostalgic either because they keep doing new thing, or at least breaking out new things or trying new things, and everything's different. And I just feel like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a different situation. But in that realm, there are bands, and I know, Kev, we talked about it before, like the Frankie Valli thing, and just certain things where do you need to, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of, you're like, really, you're coming back again, or you're touring again, or do you need to go see them again, or you know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of weird. But then, same time, you go see Bruce, and he fucking lays it out there and gives you as good a show now as you would have gotten 10, 15, 20. You know what I mean? So there is something to be said too about seeing some of that stuff still. So,
Right,
yeah,
sorry. I had to ban somebody just now.
Sorry
about that. I'm sorry that they're living their life like that. Well, you know, that's fine. He can make fun of the wook thing, but you don't start talking about people's members.
Oh, I mean, I haven't.
You
totally
missed the comment. Yeah, he made a comment about Billy Strings. I guess I don't want to say. Anyway, let's talk about Nectar.
Let's go.
You get to spend some time. You spend some time in Vermont sometimes. Have you ever been to Nectar's? I have never gotten up there, and I feel really bad that they're going to close. And
oh no!
No!
He just dropped out. Back. I think he just hit a button. I think he's coming back.
Yeah,
he's coming back.
That's funny.
Yeah, the Nectar's thing though. I mean, that's kind of, that sucks. I mean, hopefully, there he is.
My bad.
There he is. No, you're good.
You hear me? I'm back.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Just dropped out into the lounge for a minute.
Was that me? I don't know why that happened. Maybe I clicked something. But
yeah, you probably just hit a wrong button. It's happened to everyone. I mean, let's give a little background in case people don't know. Nectar's is closing because I guess they've been working on the street in front of the club for a year and a half now, or 2 years, and they can't get any foot traffic anymore. So it's basically killed their business.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But to answer your question before I disappeared, is that I've definitely been to Nectar's, and I went to University of Vermont for a hot second. Didn't last long there, but I lived in Burlington for 4 years. And dude, Nectar's, I mean, you know, it's legendary. It's the whole thing. And it's sad what's going on, but it's a bigger issue, you know, which is with the music industry and all venues and stuff. But I've heard that Burlington's just kind of rough right now, you know, because of the drugs and whatever. But
there's definitely a little bit of I mean, like everywhere, but there's definitely a little bit of downturn scene there for sure. I was there when Taper's Choice went through town. When was that? 2 years ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and spent a day and a half up there. My first time ever getting to like go there, and it was cool getting to go to Nectar's and watch them play there, which was awesome, and getting to go in such like hallowed ground. And again, you always build it up in your head as this like, you know, I can't wait to go, and then it's just like this bar on the street. You're like, oh, okay.
It's kind of just a bar on the street, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Great,
with a cool sign outside, you know.
Very cool sign out front. And I mean, I was surprised to hear that though with the foot traffic because it's kind of close to the intersection. And I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess people aren't walking down that street or driving down the street because there's so much construction going on, but you would think if you could hold out, it's a good thing, and things will be better once it comes back. But yeah, it would suck to lose a venue like that. Like shitty reason to have to lose it. And
that doesn't completely add up to me. But you know,
yeah,
that like the foot traffic is. I mean, how many people are walking by Nectar's and be like, "Oh, I'll go in there." I mean, I feel like people buy tickets to shows and stuff. But
right, and I would think with the college there and stuff, there would be ways, I don't know, to integrate more nights. I don't know how they do it because I was saying, all right, whatever. But you know, like usually cheaper, I don't know, student nights and like cheaper beers. But I don't know. You'd think you'd be able to get that's what I was wondering too. Is how many people are just walking around Burlington and they're like, "Oh, sweet, let's check out this band playing here tonight."
It's a destination for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot of cover bands and stuff. I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know how much it must still support like the touring, underground jam scene.
Because I mean, yeah, there's been like God Street just played, Karina's played there a few times lately.
Yeah.
Like they've gotten, like there's still that they still pull. You know what I mean? Like it still gets and local bands. So I don't know. It's sad to, and I don't know is there other bars up there pulling their audience away, or are people just not going? I think that's another question too.
I don't think it has to do with competition. I think it's just just everything in decline right now. But yeah, I don't know. And I know that it's under like a newer ownership of the last couple of years. So that's a bummer that someone kind of took over and then it's starting to fall apart. Not that I don't think it's anyone's fault, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just not going well.
And then Sergey passing too. So I mentioned the thing.
A
couple weeks ago, Kev, with him, the music, the engineer, everything, like sound guy passing and everything. So that kind of, it's a bad. I think there's a lot going on too, but it sucks all around.
I'm reading the comments here now. That's funny. Am I supposed to? Should I be doing that? I wasn't.
Yeah, go ahead. Of course.
You're more than welcome. The thing is, though, like 20 years ago, a club for every person in the door could count on a certain amount of money. They might be making 5% or something now. I feel like Live Nation, all the, that whole machine has taken that away where the margin is now 1% or something like that. They are so just on the edge of, not making the money anyway. And, you want to pay the band, right? A band wants $2,500 or whatever for coming and doing the show because obviously they have their bills. And if you have to pay that, all of a sudden it's taking all the bar money. And the bar money was supposed to be paying the rent,
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Nectar's. I feel like it's gonna bounce back. I like this guy says it's a publicity stunt. No, probably not. Who knows?
But they're having 2 nights with Cotter Ellis, who is Goose's new drummer, and one night they're having Brian Murray from Dogs in a Pile and Jake from Eggy. Then on that Thursday night of the second of the last week, Bob Wagner is performing. So I'm guessing that I don't know. That's going to be big. He's going to have the Wood Brothers with him.
Wait, so this is like their final run of shows before they go on hiatus?
Yeah, and then Friday it's the Grippo Funk Band and
Tapers did crush in there, Savvy, and in fact you can watch their entire show from Nectar's on wook+ right now.
Cool.
Not right now. Later, when you're done.
Oh yeah, later. Yeah, or any of their shows actually that are in the playlist of Taper's Choice.
It's tough out there, and I know you know that being in a band on the road. How many bands do we see, canceling tours, not being able to do shows? Having one show canceled because of low ticket sales makes it so you don't make any money on a tour. That's crazy.
Yeah, things suck out there for bands, for everybody. I don't know where it's all headed. I'm hoping somewhere better.
But you got a couple shows. You don't have any shows on the calendar till later in the summer, right?
We're doing a bunch of shit in the fall. It just hasn't been announced. There's my soft announcement. But yeah, we announced a couple. Nice. We're doing Brooklyn Bowl. That's a fun one. Yeah, that's a big room for us. I don't know how that's going to go. I mean, it's going to be really fun. But that's Brooklyn Bowl is going to be big. And then the only other 2 things are, which is
somebody's birthday.
Oh yeah, there's this pretty cool electronic music guy. He's kind of experimental dude, and we're playing his birthday at Tubby's. Have you ever heard of this Tubby's venue? It's in Kingston. It's kind of the spot. It's really cool. And then we're doing something at Bethel Woods where I work that's sort of tied into some of the stuff I do there. But there's a bunch of stuff coming. Just a couple weeks or something. Yeah, you'll see.
A few years ago, you got to do. You played in the parking lot at Bethel before Fish and Dead and Company, right?
Well, it's not in the parking lot. We played in the venue on this side stage called the Horizon Stage, and it's a big stage. It's pretty funny, and you can't it's a thing they do over at Bethel that's really great, and it's kind of funny because there's some kind of gray area where they just do it. Like they don't have to consult with the bands, and they stick a band on this big stage that as people walk into the venue, like you can't miss it. It's right there. So, you know, essentially thousands of people walk by you playing, and some of them come and check it out. And it's a really cool. Yeah, we did that before Fish and Dead & Co. And then last year for Fish, they let me curate the stage the whole weekend, and Guerilla Toss played after Fish, and that was a huge success. That was friggin' wild. Yeah, there was like thousands of people came to that. I mean, it was the best. It was really cool of Bethel to let us do that. It took some kind of finessing and a lot of work, but they were down, and it was a success. So yeah,
that's awesome.
This guy says wish Fish was playing Bethel again. Yeah. Bethel's awesome. It's so great for. Have you guys been there for Fish or anything?
I've no.
Dude, hit me up. I'll hook it up. Just let me know. Yeah. We lost. Did we lose him? Did he freeze into the void?
Yeah, that happens. It hasn't happened for him in a while, but boy, his internet used to always do this to us and freeze up. He's gonna be pissed when he comes back. He probably has too many programs open. Like he was telling you in the green room, his computer's
the old computer.
The old computer.
Well, this is fun. Now I'm reading the comments section. I was kind of hiding from it before, but yeah.
Oh no, man! Our chat is great. Like our chat is usually spot on. Like those guys, they're awesome over there.
Cool. Let's see. What's the last year with the bus system? Yeah, there he is. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Bethel's a great venue. I mean, it's like, it's kind of the spot. Like, not to talk trash on SPAC or whatever, but Bethel's it, dude. They'll be back. Fish will be back. I think they're doing a lot more there.
I think they'll be back there too. I don't see why they wouldn't be. It's kind of like one of those regular stops kind of places anyway.
And they got the on-site camping now, which is a whole thing. I also work for Bethel, so I'm totally just plugging them right now, you know.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. But I am happy to talk about them, and it is a great venue.
That's really cool. What do you do, or what do you?
So I've been doing this like multi-year artist residency that it's a little bit abstract, or it was at first, but now I've sort of starting to find my way. But there's a bunch of different things there, you know, because it's a nonprofit and there's an education program, and I work in the education stuff. So I work with kids and I teach music and I teach adults too. That's one of the things I do. And there's a museum, and I curate small events and stuff. And I do some like artist engagement stuff. And it's really a great gig, and it's a great place. Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that for?
So I've been working there for 4 years, and then my current job thing I've been doing is the last 3 years. And then next year I'm just going to evolve into something else. But it's a sweet place. It's definitely, I mean, I'm so biased because I work there, but it's one of my favorite places to see Fish, because the what do you call it? The sight line is incredible. It's, you know what I'm talking about? Like when you're at SPAC, like I love SPAC and I have memories there, but you know, it's like if you're in the lawn, you're just looking at brown. It's like a brown wall with a slit, and Fish is in there jamming. I guess I've been to some other shows. Right.
Yeah, that's true. Like sight lines are always like, both also nice, are kind of important in the whole setup.
Well, the Bethel one, no matter where you are, it's like you just see everything. And
there he is. Hey, he's back.
My router just totally crashed. It totally just reset for no reason. What the heck?
I thought you were gonna say like caught on fire and it's smoking in the corner or something.
Cool. Oh.
All right, welcome back. Well, you're kind of
welcome back.
And there you go.
All right, I've never been to Bethel.
Well, guys, hit me up. I'm glad to show you around, and you know, I can give you like a tour. I give you a tour, and you know,
that would be sweet.
Get a golf cart. Yeah,
that'd be a great way to see it for the first time too. Spoil me. I love it.
Oh, you guys got to come. Yeah, for sure. You will, and we will hang. Yeah,
I like it. Awesome. Cool.
All right, are we ready to jump to the next thing there?
Yeah, you got it. What do you got?
I don't want to touch anything now. I'm afraid to even click on anything.
All right, I'll move it. That's fine. We can slide it down.
What the hell? So Bruce Springsteen got political. The people in Washington didn't like what he said and got very mad at him.
About time. That guy hasn't been political in forever. What? Shocking.
And
shocking. I love it.
He went and released an EP of like the shows. It's like an instant download kind of thing. He doesn't do that, and had a lot to say. But the interesting thing for me is, this is going to get back to bars again. There is a bar in Tom's Neck, New Jersey, Tom's River, New Jersey, right? Is that what it's called? Yes, called Rivs, Tom River Hub, and he canceled a band called No Surrender that are a Bruce Springsteen cover band because he claimed it was too risky to have them play. He couldn't pay the money because he said people wouldn't show up to see the Bruce Springsteen band. So all the fans of Springsteen went and crushed this guy on Yelp. They had to shut down his Yelp page because of it. So I guess the question is, do politics belong in music?
Yes.
I mean, isn't that the kind of the whole point of rock and roll and music? Was
yes.
Statements and fuck the establishment, and especially the times we were in. I mean, we've complained about this so much on lately about how where's the movement? Like, where's like the fire? Like the you know, this, like it was worse in the 60s. Like, how are we not having more political statements in music and more throwbacks to that shit? And so to see this, I love it.
Yes, I agree with all that. Yeah, I mean, music is it's rock and roll is political. It is, whether you like it or not. And most of us, I think, are on the same side here and the right side. And it's pretty fun. Yeah, I think we're all on the same side here. But I mean, friggin' Dave Matthews played at Bethel the other night, and he was going off about he said some interesting stuff. And what's interesting is that Fish won't touch it, but that's okay. That's on them. They stay away.
It's so far away. We've talked about that before too. Like, it's interesting. I don't know. Sometimes it just, I get it, right? Like we talked about, like even with touring, like I get it. You want to keep your bottom line and you don't want to divide your fans but there's also a special time. Like, I don't know. It's kind of unprecedented.
At a certain point, you're like obligated, but I mean, I'm not holding it against them, and I think we all know what side they're on anyway. So I mean,
right. At least, especially
the best thing about the Bruce Springsteen thing is, out of nowhere, Robert Plant releases a statement supporting him. Like, where'd Robert Plant come from?
I missed that. Yeah, that's funny. And then you got guys on the up where, like a couple of years ago, Santana went on some stupid rant, saying the wrong shit that it was mean and not cool. And so they should stay out of politics, I think. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's tricky. It's a tricky one.
And I think that's part of the problem, though, is you're so quick and people are so quick to form opinions on either side, and these days it spreads so quickly that like it's so easy to get canceled or like have to deal with that sort of backlash type thing that you're like, well, if I just stay quiet, I don't have to deal with any of it, right? Like, I don't fuck it. So
it's kind of a cop out.
I always found it fascinating that back when the Summer of Love ended and Jefferson Airplane went in a decidedly very political direction with like volunteers and all that kind of stuff, where the Dead purposely, it seems like, didn't. Let's embrace the old Americana myth and build this whole thing out. And we see where one band ended up and the other did. So
I wonder if that's directly related. I mean, and yeah, that's a good point, but
political songs, I think the thing with writing a political song is it has a short shelf life.
Oh, well, straight up political songs are pretty corny, like they don't really stand the test of time, exactly what you're saying. But I don't know, sending a message and letting your fan base know, which side you're on and is pretty I think it's important. And especially with like, these fucking boomer bands or whatever, like Bruce is crushing it. He's doing what he should be doing, and I dig it for sure.
Did you see the Dead Kennedys are touring without Jell-O? It's just East Bay Ray is the only one from the original band.
I didn't even see that. I missed that. That's okay. Bring it on.
Oh man, the chat is really, really, really intrigued on what you're eating. What kind of candy you got going?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm chewing some gum, dude. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you guys think I just dosed or something?
Everyone's like, "What are you doing? What kind of candy? What kind of candy? Like,
are you eating edibles?"
I'm just chewing some gum. Yeah.
Oh,
now I'm reading the comments. One fish show. They joked about Bush at a fish show. I missed that. Let's see. That was in 2013.
That's weird.
That's funny. I like the comment section. Anyway, yeah, the boss.
Great.
What else about him? Yeah,
that was it. That was it. Let's talk about some just other random stuff for a little bit. Did you guys see the encore that Vampire Weekend did last night?
No.
Diamond. I'm going to read the whole thing. Diamonds on the soles of her shoes. You can call me Al. Me and Julio down by the schoolyard. We Are Young, a fun cover. Jam Flow Man by Twiddle. Chop Suey by System of a Down. Psycho Killer. Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Fire on the Mountain. Walking on the Moon. Take It Easy. Thunderstruck on El Paso.
Wow. Where were they playing?
It was in Vermont somewhere at the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds and Exposition Center.
Oh yeah. I was kind of following that a little bit. Yeah. But I don't know for certain. I'm sure. I think that what they do is for their encore, they kind of play like parts of these songs, and they kind of they take audience requests, I think, or like someone will. I might be wrong about this, so don't listen. But I think people kind of yell stuff out like they'll be like Jam Flow Man, and then they'll just like do it or something. But maybe they played Jam Flow Man in its entirety with all the prog part and like the reggae breakdown. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Maybe Mahali sat in. I don't know.
It's always seemed to me that Vampire Weekend wanted to be jam band adjacent, and our friend
CT, our boy CT,
the
drummer from Vampire Weekend, drummer in Taper's Choice, and he has a long history of jamming, banding, and stuff. So yes, and what you were just saying is exactly what happened last night. They did resume their trend of devoting the start of each encore to taking cover requests from the audience, and Twiddle obviously their home state, so that made sense to somebody yelling out that. But that's so much fun. I mean, again, the audience participation. Ken and I talk about that too.
If you play Jam Flow Man, though, you're a jam band. There's no two ways around this. They crossed the line. They're
well, come on. They came out and did the Goose show that not too long ago. Remember, they doubled up and played with Goose. They've done a lot of jam band adjacent and jam bandy things. Oh, did Kev freeze again? And have played. Oh, there you are. You're back. And have done, Dead covers. Like the last tour, they played a Dead cover almost every night, I think, too. So it's very much in their DNA.
They're absolutely.
And Mike come out. What Fish song did they play with Mike?
Oh, Chalk Dust, I think.
Yeah. That's right.
No, they're certainly a jam band adjacent, and Taper's Choice is great. Those guys are jammers too. All those guys, right?
Fuck yeah, amen.
Yeah, I missed their show, but Cassie from Guerilla Toss went down to the Brooklyn Bowl. Was it their thing?
Yeah,
some kind of big event. Yeah, and they were
the Relics
thing. Yeah. Cassie went down to that and said it was awesome, and she hung out with all those guys, and they were just like the coolest. So
yeah,
but yeah, Vampire Weekend's awesome. Yeah, they're very much in that jam scene. They took Twiddle on tour at one point, didn't they?
I think they did. They
did. Yeah.
And again, even touring with Mike and stuff, they're right there. So yeah, even having Mike open for them on the last tour and Mike coming to then the Taper shows and stuff, it's very funny. Yeah.
Well, the question is, I've never seen them live, but do they jam live at all? Like, no, they don't. They're like maybe there's some solos, but they don't go type 2 or whatever, right?
Well, no. Yeah. There's what you would call, like extending a song a little bit and things like that, but not like taking things.
I watched a stream of some festival they did last year.
Coachella. We watched that Coachella stream when they did that a couple of years ago, and did like that whole weird country mashup thing and like that whole thing that they did. Yeah,
which I found fascinating. I was like, the only song I know from them is Oxford Comma. When it came out, it ended up on a playlist that I had on a CD I burned or whatever, and I was like, that song is just so fun, but I never took the dive and listened to anything else.
We need Llama on here for this conversation. Our Vampire Weekend resident fan.
I'd like to go see them. We let's go sometime.
We should. That CT will hook us up. We should definitely all go. We're in. Let's go. Definitely.
Let's do it. And then are you guys down with not Goose but Geese? You must.
Yeah.
They're making a splash right now. They just I know they opened for Vampire Weekend last night.
Heard good things about them. Llama again. Big fan of theirs from I mean, I don't say early on because I know early, but he's been trying to get us on them forever. He's like, screw Goose, get on Geese, and he's been pumping them for a while. So yeah,
Geese is pretty sick, and they've kind of they're kind of crushing it right now. They're on their
If
way.
a band's together 5 years, it's really something these days, I'd say.
Yeah, they're young too. I mean, I think those kids met in high school or something. Like they're really they're cool. Yeah, they're crushing. Definitely recommend them.
sweet. I agree. And Dave, we need them to play more shows. I mean, I'm working on the Troop show. That'll be done shortly. But we need them to play more shows, to get more shows.
So we'll go from a young band to an old guy. Billy Joel apparently is postponed, is what they're saying. I don't think he'll probably ever play again, but he has something called normal pressure hydrocephalus, which is something that messes with your balance, your hearing, your vision. So, but he had shows coming up with Sting. He was going to tour with. He was playing some shows with Rod Stewart, some with Stevie Nicks. I'm just like, wow, that's just so crazy.
Yeah, that's a bummer. And I think it goes back to like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, like the touring thing, right? Like tour till you can't, because when you can and it's taken away, bummer.
Yeah.
Sucks for everyone, the fans and him.
Yeah. I missed that. That's too bad though. Yeah, that sucks. Billy Joel.
Yeah, well, now Fish can get the record.
Yeah, they're headed there anyway.
Yeah, they're going to have to do another residency to really pad them numbers.
Well, what are the numbers? What's Billy Joel have on Fish at this point?
I don't even know what they are right now.
I think it's a lot. I think he's played there like 150 times since the 70s.
Oh, yeah. He does
I mean, it would have
20
to be.
years on them. Yeah.
To check.
Definitely a good there. All right, Montreal Jazz Festival is Lake Geneva in Switzerland. There was a French rapper named Lalo that canceled, and where was I on this? I'm sorry. So they have Diana Ross playing. I don't even know why I told you the first part. Diana Ross, Brandy Carlisle, Alanis Morissette. Very interesting lineup.
What is this, Montreal?
I found it fascinating, the lineup. You know, that's all. I guess Chaka Khan.
The all-female lineup.
Right. Other names on the bill include Lionel Richie, Santana. I just think that would be cool. I would go to something like that because I could check off all those bands.
Wait, is that this is all at the Monterey Jazz Festival in where'd you say?
In Switzerland, yes.
Switzerland. Yeah, that's
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, okay. Now
I thought you said Montreal Jazz Fest. That's not what you said. Or did you?
I don't know.
You probably did. The way Kev says words sometimes.
All good, dude. We're all on that level. We're all a little.
It's the Baltimore accent. There
yeah.
is what that boils down to.
Yeah, that's a wild lineup. It's funny how many jazz fests there are where there just isn't really jazz, but that's been a thing for a while now, right? That's kind of I'm sure there's some jazz in some small clubs somewhere, but
right.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You should go, dude. Fly over to Switzerland. That'll be a motherfucker.
Right? I mean, that's quite the bucket list thing. Not just you getting off seeing all those people play, but you get to go to this awesome foreign country that I'm sure you always wanted to travel to. So
it's a good one. Gorilla Toss played there a few times. It was a little weird, but it was beautiful. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's awesome.
You flew the whole band over.
Well, we did. We've done some Europe tours before, so we went through Switzerland, and it was cool. It was great. You know, it's like they got some money over there, and they got the government supports their they got squats that are funded and are really nice. They got a lot of arts grants and stuff. So anyway, let's go. We're going to the Jazz Fest. We're going to Geese or whatever. Oh no,
Geese. Yeah, we need what we need is Vampire the Weekend to play the Jazz Fest and cross off two things right there.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Or for them to play Bethel and cross off two things right there. See, this is what
that'd be fun. Yeah, I know they were trying to get Vampire Weekend to do some Bethel thing at one point. Didn't come through, but that would be a good reason to come up. Yeah,
totally.
I interviewed Jerry Joseph once, who writes songs with Widespread Panic,
Mhm.
and he was talking about that he had done an album with one of the guys from the Drive-By Truckers,
Mhm.
and they were going to tour Europe, and the management and all the promoters were like, "Don't mention jam bands in any of the material that goes out because they don't like jam bands in Europe." And I was
They
like,
don't.
"That's weird."
Well, I don't think they just don't. I mean, jam bands are like, it's so American, you know. It's like it just is. It's like, I mean, Fish only went there a couple times. The Dead toured there, you know, a handful of times. But no, it's yeah, the jam bands are American, man. Yeah, it's they don't love. Yeah, I don't think they do well in Europe. Although I saw Goose went over there, I thought in the last couple of years.
Yeah. And I saw some of our good friends like just did the Gizzard tour over there through Europe that's going on.
Oh,
right
Gizzards,
now.
they're crushing it over there.
They're
Yeah,
crushing it
they're
over there for
but I think
sure.
when they go to Europe, I mean, like they're so not a jam. Like people don't even know.
Yeah.
They're just like this is like a garage
rock,
whatever.
rock,
Psych band.
yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
Kev, that speaks to, you know, my buddy that was at the Taper's Choice show from Sweden, who's the big Fish fan, who flew over here for fall tour and came by himself and is like, and has done like the MSG runs by himself, because he said the same thing. He's like, nobody gets it in Sweden, you know? And he's like, and even when I try to explain it, he's like, I feel like I make it worse when I try to like explain jam to them. So he's like, I just go with it by myself and do it. And I was like, that's fascinating.
Yes, Matthew, I would say is Gizzard a jam band, and I would say that they check all the boxes.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
let me correct what I said, because Matthew bro here is grilling me a little bit, but I'm just like, jam culture is very American, like, you know, like it can jammed, but Hawkwind, but I just don't consider them jam bands like Fish or whatever. Gizzard is, I think Giz kind of I don't know, they transcend. They're just like, you know, they really do have the torch or whatever. The torch got passed to them. You know, they're the new Fish or whatever people want to joke about, but they really are. It's like they're a creative band. They're changing it up. They don't sound like other jam bands. They're carrying the torch or whatever.
And I think that's a really interesting point, because that's true. The way kind of Fish changed, the way that they kind of took the mantle, like instead of Dave or instead of like Blues Traveler, instead of so many bands at that time that were coming out in that jam thing, what's kind of separated Fish was that how good the playing was, obviously, but also the fun and the unseriousness of the music compared to how serious the Dead shit was. So it was like this change and this different way of approaching the genre and jam band. And I think, to your point, that's kind of how Gizzard is, as opposed to Goose, who kind of fills in sort of more like a Junior Fish kind of thing, whereas Gizzard takes that to the next level and like blows us apart. And it's like, this is what the future should be, or like, this is where we can take this to.
And they sound nothing like any of these other bands. It's like they totally have their unique thing. They're drawing from like a ton of different
influences,
and lineage that's kind of outside of what, you know, a lot of jam bands. Not to talk trash, the jam scene's amazing, whatever, but Giz is onto something special, and it's cool that, like, I don't think they're a jam. I don't think, like, they don't have that in Australia. You know, they don't know about that. I mean, now they do, because they're sort of falling in with that. But you know, they're jam fans are going to see Giz, and so that's kind of what makes them a jam band in a way. But they're still like their own machine.
I think that's a good way of putting that too.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How's the jam band scene in Australia?
I don't think there's any jam bands. I don't think that, like,
right? I don't think there is one either, right?
I mean, I'm probably, there must be something.
I mean, there's got to be some, but I don't know. I've never heard of it.
I don't think jam bands go over there and tour much.
And I've never met one. Yeah, I've never met an Aussie jam band fan. I don't know. It's just on tour.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
I mean, there's bands that are cool, like more like maybe like a Surprise Chef is more like a Medeski, Martin and Wood thing, maybe like that.
Yeah.
So are they a jam band? I don't think Medeski would have ever said they were a jam band, but I'm sure that the people who showed up, he was happy to see them.
Well, they kind of fell into the scene. They kind of got but I mean,
that was Soul Live. Soul Live were like, wait, why are all these hippies here? What happened?
But I think they're stoked. I mean, those bands are hyped to be selling tickets and getting to improvise and
having that, and fans, and having a whole surprise group of fans that maybe you weren't expecting latch on to your music.
I think those dudes are pretty happy to have fallen into such like an embracing, you know, subculture or whatever
community. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because I mean, what else? I don't know where else, Medeski, Martin, and Wood would have ended. Like, they're kind of a jazz band or something. I don't know, but it worked with. They were one of my favorites. I love seeing them, and they got weird too. It's like, yeah.
Well, the thing would be so funny. Everybody be grooving. They'd be doing a groove and a dance, and they drop it into space, and everybody be like, "What just?"
And the space would go on for a while too. And like they had some funny formulas. Like they'd come on and they'd kind of play like this funky, fresh New Orleans thing, and everyone was like bopping around. And then it would descend into madness. And then it would sort of, after 40 minutes, it would sort of return into this kind of like this boppy thing. Everyone's grooving, and it worked. People seemed to dig it. So it was some of the strangest music I've ever seen live that had such like a receptive audience that was just flipping out. So I love them. And Soul Live too. I saw them a bunch too.
They are going to, Medeski, Martin, and Wood is getting back together for Jam Cruise next year. They are one of the headliners. So,
oh, that's great.
Interesting.
That's awesome. You remember all the way back when Soul Live had what's his name singing for them, Toussaint singing for them for a while, all the way back then. Like that was crazy too. They actually had a lyric, like it wasn't just jam. They had lyrics and shit going on. It was crazy. Like that
how long ago was that? When I saw them, I saw them a lot in like I'm aging myself here in like 2004, 2005, and they were just like a funk band that just played and played. And I saw them at some small venues too, and then like bigger ones. And anyway, great band.
Yeah, I saw them all in New Orleans, Chicago, all that stuff. But it was right around that time. It was with that, and he was with them for probably 2 years, maybe 3 years singing with them.
I always thought the Rubber Soul Live was such a fascinating thing that they did there. Did they pick the Beatles? That was
I missed that. Were they playing? They were playing Beatles songs. I totally
They did a whole album called Rubber Soul Live.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's awesome.
Fun stuff. Yeah, I used to love seeing them. They were
they put on a great show. I mean,
they're
a great
touring this summer. So
Soul Live is for real? Actual Soul Live?
Yeah, and it's funny. I talked to Alan Evans probably like a year ago or something, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm done drumming. I'm not going to be drumming anymore." And now Soul Live's touring again.
That guy was so sick. Good.
He wanted to work in his studio. He does so much production work out of his studio and stuff and he has the label that I'm totally spacing on the name. He has his own label that he puts a bunch of stuff out. So.
They're great. They're so much
fun.
Are
bluegrass bands jam bands? Sure. I think more than anything, because I think what the Grateful Dead did was a direct line from bluegrass, because Garcia used to go tape bluegrass bands, Paper culture came from bluegrass.
I'm not gonna lie, I never got super into the jam. I don't it's just I just don't vibe with it. I think it's amazing. It's just not for me. And I haven't seen Billy Strings though, and he seems like a motherfucker. So
I watched Billy Strings. I get through the first set on a stream, and then like 2 or 3 songs into the second set, I'm bluegrassed out. I'm like, I need to put on the Clash or something real quick and cleanse the palate.
It feels a little repetitive, but I haven't been to a show or set. So excuse my complete ignorance with Billy Strings here, but when he does a second set, do they jam? Does it stretch out more than the first set? Is that kind of classic thing?
He has certain songs that he'll go for like 10 minutes, but I mean,
does it go type 2 or what?
He can. No. I mean, he can, but he doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't really.
It's basically the passing it around. Everybody gets a solo, and then sometimes he'll throw on some pedals and get a little weird. I really wish he would add a drummer. I think that would do. I get that his thing is having just the 5, string instruments out there, but
he'll switch it up at some point. I bet, but he's great, and like he's obviously like a killer musician. I should go see. Have you guys seen him a bunch or?
A few times, and I mean, again, definitely found that genre, right? That kind of connects things, like able to pull in different fans, which is really cool. And the shows are entertaining as hell. Like they're definitely a lot of fun. So I can.
I'm sure I'd love it. Yeah.
Apparently, Billy is. There's a band called Cannibal Corpse, and they covered one of their own songs and redid it, and had a bunch of guitarists come in. And Billy Strings apparently is playing on the Cannibal Corpse song.
He's like I think he's like a metal dude at heart. I think I listened to his interview with Mark Maron kind of a year ago or something, and he's like a metal dude. Yeah.
That's
what we wish. He sat in with Tool. He sat in with Tools at some point.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
All right, let me ask you this: before we get into the Neil Young minute, Peter.
Yeah, what's up?
Who would you want to see play at the Sphere? Who do you think would be the band to see there?
A Tool for one. Yes.
Yeah, I think it would scare people though. People would come out freaked.
I think it would be sick. I mean, I'd love to see, Primus, although I don't know if they could fill the Sphere yet, but a bill with them, because they're doing right now. It's like Primus, and then they're touring with what's it called? The Tool, A Perfect Circle, and then another band that's the Tool guys, and like they should bring that to the Sphere, something like that. I don't know. Who do you think? I haven't been to the Sphere ever. Have you all been?
I have not been. T's been.
Did you go for Fish?
Tool is top of my list, and then I'd say like a Beyonce or something.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. She could crush it. Yeah, she's quite she could put on a sick show.
I mean, the thing is with that place, and I said this before too, with it, is anybody there is good because the atmosphere and the music and the seats and the environment and anything they do with the graphics is so different and new. It's like you go see anybody there if it's a band that you like or what, you know what I mean? Like, and even if it's not, it's worth seeing because, like, even I know I have friends who went and saw the Eagles and they're not Eagles fans, but they're like, it was really fun. It turned out to be really cool. You're like, sweet. Like,
I'm sure it's awesome.
See that, yeah. So anything there would be cool, but yeah, to see getting to see Fish there was spectacular. Even the Dead & Co stuff was amazing, but to get to see something like a Tool or somebody like huge like that who would buy in instead of like a Kenny Chesney or the Eagles or even Backstreet Boys, who it's such a random. If you had told me that like even Fish and the Dead & Co would be like the follow-ups to U2 after that, just a Sphere, and then this would be the lineup that they've had so far, you'd be like, no way, not in a million years. Like, what? Where's the big names? Where's like Lady Gaga? And like, I think she would be sweet there. Like, where's, it's funny. It's interesting.
Yeah, you don't know any other pop stars band names.
Well, I was trying to think of like who else. Like, I'm like, who else would you want to see there? I don't know. Like,
well, who's big enough? Because it's
Adele,
massive, right?
Adele could do a show there.
Yeah,
Adele could sell out months.
I could see them doing kind of like lineups in smaller festivals and stuff like that. Like like a really sick 3-band bill, I guess. I don't know what the future of the Sphere is. It seems it's mad. It's like 30,000 people, right, or something, or 20,000.
Something like that. Yeah.
I think it's closer to 20, but yeah, I mean it's huge and just
Radiohead. There you go.
Radiohead's a great idea. Yeah, I mean whoever these people are listing it all off, that makes sense. Radiohead would crush.
Maiden.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Made an Eddie, a 50-foot or however tall Eddie on the screen. Yes.
Metallica might be. Metallica would be cool. Are they like too big for the Sphere? I don't know. No, I mean they could just play multiple nights.
Right, exactly, because they're doing the same set. It's not like there's I got to go see every one. It's going to be the same show every night.
I mean, I think it takes an ambitious band to play at the Sphere. I think it's a lot of work to create all that content to it's a whole thing.
And even the rehearsals, right? Because like you don't have the instruments on stage, everything's below you, so everything's in the monitors, they said, and so it's like a wholly different experience. Like doing it. That's why Beyonce, I guess, one of the reasons that whole thing fell through was she wanted a week.
She wanted $1 million. She wanted $1 million a day for 2 weeks to rehearse.
She wanted rehearsal time, and they're like, we can't give you rehearsal time, which is ridiculous because of course you want rehearsal time in there, right, to like figure out the sound and stuff. Because even we talked about it, Trey's talking about how different the sound is and how So
you mentioned Primus. I haven't talked to you since then. How was that tour?
Oh, it was the best. It was incredible. Yeah. It was. I love those guys. It was so cool of them to have us, and it's like those we've that's kind of because we toured with Pavement a couple of years ago, and those are the two kind of bigger tours we've done, and it's like all I can say is like it's a taste of the good life. It's cool to like to see that operation and how it works. And these guys are all like I'm sure maybe there's some assholes out there, some shitty famous people, but less and all, and they're the nicest dudes ever. It's like, and they know it. They have a lot to be grateful for, and they're also hard workers, and they're just the coolest, man. The crew was awesome, the bands were awesome. It was the best. Yeah. It's good times.
That's fun.
Thanks for asking, because it's fun to reminisce and think about that.
Let me ask you this: do you want to have a hit record?
A like that's a funny, like on what level of I'd like to make a record that is received well and get some spins and kind of maybe knocks us up a tier to just drawing some more people, but we'll see. Yeah.
Like I'm talking about like you end up in a movie or something like that, and then all of a sudden you walk in the grocery store and you hear your song kind of thing.
It's almost like, I mean, maybe one won't believe me, but it's like I don't know. It's like that seems so far to the realm of possibility that I don't really think about it. I know what you mean, like the kind of music you hear when you're pumping gas and there's like one of these hit bands.
Well, I mean, your new single is a banger, man. It should be bumping out of every stereo all summer.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it's fun when people like the music. So sure, I'd like to make a small hit record. I don't fucking know.
You never know. I mean, you never know. At this point, like something does get licensed in a movie, and then all of a sudden it's a hit, and people are like, "Oh shit, check out this band!" And you like, it happens like that. And I talked to CT about that when we did the Tapers tour, when we were on tour with him, and he was talking about how he enjoys this moment with that band and playing these venues, and like we're sitting outside the Big Brown Barn for the show, and he's like, this is what I always wanted to do with like a jam band, like have people drive down to this barn and like hang out and play like outside with like a bunch of wooks and go camping. He's like, with Vampire we had such a meteoric quick rise that like we never got the opportunity. He's like, don't get me wrong, it's awesome and obviously you'll take that. Yeah. It's like we never got the opportunity to grow and like start small and just go. He's like, so I'm really enjoying this with like these guys. Playing small venues, playing the crowd, like that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I mean, who doesn't want that, right? Like he's like, obviously, I'll take.
Well, he's got both in a way,
right?
Yeah, I mean that's the move. You start a cool side project, but yeah. So he's been in the band since the beginning, pretty much, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. I asked Ryan and Joel from Humphreys about having a hit, and Joel was like, "I'd like to have a small hit, a smit," and Ryan was like. Ryan was like, I'd love to have a hit. He's like, I think that would be the best thing ever, because I feel like you want the world to hear your music. What better way?
Yeah. I mean, like you talking about a hit record or a hit single or just, I mean, I guess it's sort of the same in the end.
The one that all of a sudden, like you said, bumps you up a couple levels and you find yourself being called to be interviewed by Guitar Bird, Modern Drummer, and Billboard wants to talk to you guys, and that kind of thing.
Yes, I mean, it would be very fun to do something like who would say no to that? I guess on some level, right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, totally.
Cool. A really young band would say no to it because they gotta keep their street cred real.
I don't think selling out isn't. There's no selling out anymore. It's like we're fighting for scraps out there, man.
You're cashing in. You're cashing in.
You got to take any opportunity
if you get that opportionity. Exactly, and that's what I always say to Kev these days. There is no more selling. Like that era is gone. Kind of.
If it's really if it's something really evil, like don't do it. But it's like
right. If it's playing a Mar-a-Lago gig, right?
Yeah, that's crossing a line. Yeah, like you don't sell your song to like a Trump rally or whatever the fuck. Or
right.
Like, you don't license it to him, but it's like. Yeah, there's so few opportunities. You got to take them, and then just like if you get a nice payday, you use that to further your creative endeavors and then keep your community going. Whatever it's like
you have the hit, and then like Thomas Dolby, he had Blinded Me with Science, and he's been putting out albums since then and just doing what he likes, and he plays that song for the encore every night because people pay to see it when they come to see him, but he still has 2 hours to do whatever else he wants.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's a funnier idea, kind of, is it what I want more than a hit is to go viral, man. I want to go fucking viral. I think that would be funny. Like all the kids all of a sudden are like, are doing their dances on TikTok. I think that stuff's really funny. And
you need a Guerilla Toss dance or something, right? That like catches like something that catches on TikTok. Like,
yeah, I don't know how you do that. Maybe we should if somebody does. We should figure it out because that would be pretty funny. But
right, there you go.
I think the viral thing is pretty like. I mean, it's all kind of like maybe it's soulless. I don't fucking know. But
viral probably is the new hit single, though. Going viral probably is the new hit single.
It is. It is. It totally is. Yeah, and it's like. But it's like going viral for like like a 15-second clip, like that's the thing, right? It's like these are all these TikTok is whatever these short clips, but Pavement went viral with the "Harness Your Hope" song in the last couple of years, and like so I work with kids. I teach kids that after school music lessons, whatever, and like they all know Pavement because of that one song.
Wow.
And like I don't think they really understand what it is, but like
Right.
like if you say it, if you sing the song, they're like they all know it, like every single kid. So it's just funny. I don't know.
That is funny.
It's wild out there. It's wild.
That is crazy.
A viral moment. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's find it. Let's do it. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, you gonna run the intro too?
Oh, you mean the outro? That's right. Just so everybody knows.
No, the intro for the Neil Young Minute.
Oh, the Neil Young Minute. Okay, yes, I was gonna do that. I was gonna say it wasn't an accident today that Kev didn't run the intro to the show. That was planned. Kev's revolution of taking over the show was to get rid of the intro tonight. Anyway, here's your Neil Young Minute intro.
The Neil Young Minute. All right. Last fall, Neil Young and his wife, Daryl Hannah, visited a school called Lakefield College. And I guess they help kids. It's an Ontario school. And he decided to go back up and do a concert for them to help them raise some money. And he busted out a song called My Boy off of his Old Ways album from 85. So a 40-year-old song. And he said that it was one of his favorite recordings that he ever did. And he played with Ben Keith and Spooner Oldham. And I don't know, that's some of the other songs. Open with Comes a Time, which is not the Grateful Dead Comes a Time, but is simply probably one of his most beautiful songs. Sugar Mountain, I'm a Child, Heart of Gold. I mean, he did a bunch of the hits. Harvest Moon, Helpless. So that's your Neil Young Minute.
Nice.
That's lovely. Love Neil. He's so great.
When we end, Peter, hang out for a minute so we can make sure the recording goes through.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this later, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Please go check out what Guerilla Toss is doing. They are absolutely one of my favorite bands. Another song besides the single, there's one called Realistic Rabbit that I am just obsessed with the song. I know it's one of your older ones. There's a great actual radio. You played on some radio station, and there's a video on it of YouTube up on YouTube. Different lineup. You changed lineup since then some, but
sure. But yeah, I know that's from Audio Tree. Yeah, no, I like that song too. Thanks for liking that song.
You got a thing with rabbits. I want Cassie to come talk to me about her because she got Jesus Rabbit. You got Realistic Rabbit.
Yeah, she'll talk to you. She's very shy about the lyrics, but I know that I think she
told me at that show in Colorado that she would. And I texted her, and then she just didn't respond.
I'll remind her. Don't take it personally. It's like she is definitely shy about talking about the lyrics, but I want to know too. So you should interview her.
Nice.
Yes, yeah. I'd love I love her lyrics. It's interesting. Yeah. It isn't the same old bad, mad, sad, glad kind of thing that.
Yeah, she's great. It's weird and abstract, and there's a lot going on there.
And Kev complains a lot about lyrics for songs and bands, so that's a big compliment.
Well, you're a poet, right?
Yes, I have a degree in poetry. I do.
That's amazing.
All right, and make sure that you like and subscribe. Think about becoming a members. Every Monday, I do a morning show for members, and it's gotten more interesting. I've gotten more comfortable with it. Check us out Friday. We'll do a morning show for everybody. Not quite sure what it's. We're working on it. It's a work in progress. We also have a great interview coming up with Dennis McNally about his latest book. He was a publicist for the Grateful Dead, if y'all don't know. And we also are talking to Dave from Acoustic Hookah about Hookahville 60. So look for that probably Friday. With that, we will say goodnight, Peter. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, you all are awesome. Yeah, love you back. Let's just do this again. Yeah, this was really fun. Yeah, you guys are fun, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, man, thank you for your support. Thank you for coming on. This was a pleasure. This is awesome. Can't wait to hang out in person.
We'll see y'all around the way.
Sure.
The original theme music did not play it. Sorry,
Might just have to have him shorten the theme song.
he did this song too, though. I think this is gonna
Right.
go.
The end doesn't matter though. The end can go on for as long as you want.
Yeah, no one's watching anymore anyway.
No way. I'm gonna watch this for the credits and to see Scoot.
Sit, Ubu, sit.
Scoot.
Or MC Roach. Oh wait, we got to stop it, dude.
I got it.
All right.